have illuminated for me powerful works of philosophy, literature, history, and film. In addition to wrestling with, say, Rousseau's Second Discourse, Woolf's To the Lighthouse, or Sturgis's The Lady Eve, we have had the experience of thinking for ourselves in amiable company. That experience, I suggest in this book, teaches us something about agency and entanglement, and ultimately, about freedom. The best teaching invites one to remain a student, someone who stays open to learning, discovery, and even transformation. Introduction. There are many ways to be a student. Experienced teachers know it's hazardous to generalize about them, and so take different approaches depending on who is in the classroom. An approach that works well for one may reduce another to tears. Some students are so eager to please the teacher that they overachieve, finding themselves capable of mastering a subject more quickly than they or their instructor thought possible. Some will strive to find balance and harmony by fitting into their educational context. Others build intellectual muscle by criticizing every move the teacher makes. By being critical and competitive interlocutors with their instructors, they work harder and learn to think more deeply. Some students learn through imitation, eager to follow their classmates as well as their teacher. There are many ways to be a student, but at their core, this book argues, is developing the capacity to think for oneself by learning from others. The student learns to be more free. The Student is a short book that takes on a long history, exploring some of the principal models for learning that have developed in very different contexts, from the 6th century BCE to the present. Earlier time periods are painted with very broad strokes. The picture becomes more detailed as we come to the 18th century Enlightenment, when the ideals of freedom and the student become intertwined. Although much ground is covered, I trust it is clear that I make no attempt at being comprehensive. For example, I do not treat the traditions of study in either the Jewish or Muslim traditions, both of which had vital roles in the West. Much of the second half of the book is about American college students, long the subject of commentary and complaint. These days they're accused of being censorious, illiberal, and careerist. There is a long, cliché-ridden history of accusing the young of failing to live up to the older generation's idea of the student. Medieval monks complained about rambunctious priests in training. In the 1960s musical Bye Bye Birdie, the parents sing, "What's the matter with kids today?" and "Why can't they be like we were, perfect in every way?" This book charts the emergence of the ideal of the student and the inevitable complaints about those who fail to live up to that ideal. We explore concerns of how one should learn from others to develop purpose and agency, noting along the way how actual students learn. We begin by looking at 3 ways of being a student: the follower, the interlocutor, and the disciple. Students of Confucius are our starting point. Grown men who follow a master in order to learn. For them, learning is linked primarily to living virtuously and harmoniously in relationship with others. We focus on 3, each quite different types of those who pursue an education, types still recognizable in schools today. Next, we turn to the students of Socrates, one of the most influential educators in the West. Although the father of Western philosophy cultivated an audience through questioning, he offered no doctrine to which listeners could commit. His students were interlocutors, and they aimed at living an examined life. The self-awareness they practiced would be deemed essential for modern ideas of learning as a path to freedom. Finally, we explore the student as disciple. Jesus' disciples often referred to him as their teacher or rabbi.